Every single one of you wants to send it big, and you're lying to yourself if you're not, okay? This is exactly how I brainwashed myself from a I've never done this sport before kind of guy to racing Division 1, Red Bull night shift, and being the owner of a mountain bike company. Holy smokes. And the thing is, I didn't do it through the traditional path of more practice, buying a ton of nice bikes. This process works, especially if your body doesn't work the way that it used to. Most pros that you watch on these channels on YouTube, they don't know what it's like to be a plebe, to be a normal guy, paid for minivan guy. Like, they don't know what it's like to be a person with a job who has to work really hard to stay in shape. Now, for those of you that don't know me, which is kind of hard because, you know, look at all these subscribers that I have. I'm such a big deal. Kidding. My name's Dave Davidson. I'm the founder of Mountain Bike Academy, and I exist on this planet because I hate it when people go all the way to their grave not being able to say, I did it. Now, big for you might be a 10-foot jump. That's okay. I'm not talking necessarily about the size of the jump, but it's the principle of scaring yourself and still having courage. If you lack courage, watch this video to the end. I'm gonna show you something that I think will change potentially your life, if you let it, but it's definitely gonna change your riding and it will absolutely change your courage. And I've worked with hundreds of riders and it's worked for them, but I'm gonna give it to you here for free on this YouTube channel. There's nothing to buy here, all right? Now, the thing I want you to do, if you like this, I want you to subscribe to the channel right now. Reason being is that I'm going to be dropping my full fundamentals course, but I'm not gonna be able to find you if you don't subscribe because my AI only finds people that are subscribed. So subscribe now and let's get to it. All right, so what's the one thing that everyone's gonna tell you to do that's wrong? They're gonna tell you more practice. They're gonna tell you take a lesson. They're gonna tell you to watch more YouTube, follow better riders, just ride your bike, work out, stretch, progress slowly. You get the idea. They're gonna tell you all these things to do. None of these are wrong and all of them will help you, but none of them will give you the type of progress that I'm about to drop right now. So where real courage comes from, the kind of courage that allows you to not just send a little 5-footer, but the kind of courage that gives you the ability to send a 40-footer. Now again, you can use this courage to send a 20 or a 10. The courage that comes from sending a 40-footer is a learnable skill, and I'm about to show you right now exactly how it works. Now, confidence comes from competence. Competence is actually being good at something. If you're actually good at something, your body must know it, okay? Your body must know it. You're not watching this channel for the good handwriting, all right? Your body must know it. Now, if you've jumped your bike before, or you've jumped anything before, on snow, ski, whatever, and you feel like you're tight in the air, and you know what it's like. It's like, oh God, there's no way if I go any bigger, it's gonna work. That's a sign that it's not your technique. Your technique might be off, but your body knows what you're asking it to do. It's not familiar, okay? So you need a process where you're introducing familiar thoughts, feelings, visualizations. All of these feel like something you've done before. You need that in order to have this kind of courage. Even if you haven't done those things necessarily, you need to build this up. And then finally, number 3, in order to brainwash yourself into big sends, you need to never outpace your athleticism. Let me say this again. Building up the confidence and the competence to jump huge jumps successfully means that you will need to move through the phase of 2 to 3 foot jumps, 5 foot jumps, 10 foot jumps, 20 foot jumps, 30 foot jumps, 40 foot jumps. You have to stay below the threshold of your athleticism, period. If you ask your body to do something that it knows it can't do, it will sabotage you midair. If you give yourself something that your body doesn't know how to do and can't do, you break the rule of familiarity. You literally cannot do something that your body cannot do. And so athleticism is the real key to brainwashing yourself. Athleticism is the real key to getting yourself to do something that you've never done before. Now, the crazy thing is the reason why you're stuck is because you're going out there, you got the nice bike, you know, you spend $7,000 on your bike and you try to do the thing and you got a $7,000 bike and a $70 skill set. Doesn't work, okay? So the bike won't solve it. If you want to go a little bit further and you've got the practice, you're asking your body to feel a certain way at the end of the practice, and so you're like, well, I'm trying it, but it feels unfamiliar. Even if you go to a clinic, clinics are great, don't want to knock a clinic, but here's the thing. These clinics are designed for beginners or advanced people. They don't solve your athleticism. And so when you take not so great athleticism to a clinic, they can only show you something that works in a controlled environment with very specific instruction. You didn't learn jumping, you learned how to jump that jump on that day, okay? And so I encourage you to still do that. It's useful to go to a clinic, but just practicing, even under the supervision of a coach, is only gonna take you so far because you don't have familiarity with what it's like to do that. And your body's like, I'll do it for you this once, but back out on the trail, I'm not gonna do that for you. What you really need to do is you need to stay under that level of athleticism, okay? And so athleticism is the secret to brainwashing yourself. Now, there's a component of mindset. I wanna tie this all in together. Now, here's the thing that no one's gonna tell you. I went from really terrible. I'm gonna be very, very honest with you guys. I was not good at first at mountain biking. Everything that I did that I felt good about, like there was a moment when my friends were like, whoa, dude. And I thought they were like, wow, you just cleaned that rock garden. But really it was like, dude, you're so erratic that we're worried about you. I've been there, and what I did has to do with breath work, okay? So all of this right here, I'm gonna bring it together for you. The foundation of everything is this. How you breathe is how you move. How you move is how you jump. And up here is your mind, okay? Your mind believes how you jump, and it believes how you move, and it all starts with the breath. Now here's the crazy thing. These two are interchangeable. Pay close attention to this, because pretty much everyone has heard about visualization, all right? I can picture myself doing the jump, but then what happens? You picture yourself doing the jump, and then your body betrays you, it disobeys you, or it does something completely different when you actually do the jump. The reason why visualizations don't work is because you gave yourself a physiological break, okay? Visualizations work if you have a calm state where your body knows what it's like to do something like that. Let me say this again in a different way. You can visualize all you want, but if your body is in a state of fear or a state of, I am unfamiliar with this, you will not move the way that you're supposed to move. You will not jump the way you're supposed to jump, and your mind will go, well, I guess I can't do it. And then you end up going to your grave. That was never important to me to begin with when you lied to yourself and you didn't listen to this video, okay? Pardon the intensity, but it's like, guys, it's important to slide into heaven, into home base going, whoo, that was awesome. If you're watching this and one person, which this has happened before, if one person goes, man, that video, I just know deep down that I'm holding back, and that's okay. It's not about the jump. It's about I need to live in a way where I show up to the jump metaphorically or literally, and I did it. I did it. I said I was gonna do it. I found a way to do it, and I did it. And then my wife, my kids, my coworkers, they got the me that I know I was capable of. If one person's watching this right now and you go, I think I kind of get this, I'm gonna give it a try, extremely well worth it. So how do you do this? Okay, you don't just visualize. My process for doing this, literally, I'll walk you through a couple things, okay? So there was a jump, and I wanted to do my very first whip on this jump. I lined up, and I was trying to work out in my head how I wanted to whip, okay? But before I dropped in, there was this little tiny, if I close my eyes, there's this little tiny moment where I felt what it could feel like to land the whip and my friends high-fiving me. And it kind of felt different from the way I was thinking about it, okay? So when I was thinking about it, I was like thinking about the muscles moving and like, doing this with my bars because I didn't know how to whip. And then when I kind of caught wind, so to speak, of this feeling of what it would be like to land after doing the whip, it had to do with the sound of the tires. And it had to do with this feeling of I was pressing through the legs, and my body was like nice and relaxed on top of it, and I could feel my torso kind of going this way, and the bike was over here and it came back under me. And so this feeling of what it was like was a positive, relaxed feeling in my body. And I was like, oh, and I like happened to be breathing at the time. And what I found is that I went in the air and I was totally relaxed. I did this tiny little whip and I was so proud of it. It was really cheesy. But But the thing is, like, I was able to capture something else that felt similar and relax about the other thing. I was able to kind of go, oh, that's familiar, I got it. I'll just go do that thing while I whip. Do you guys hear the difference between I forced myself to whip the bike and I made it happen, I visualized it? You can't force a visualization, you have to find something familiar. You guys hear the difference? And so when you're working on this, finding that familiar thing is really, really important. Now, the second thing I realized is that I had done a lot of athletic things, but I didn't have a lot of athletic talent, okay? I had to build every skill that I ever worked on. I played linebacker my senior year, and again, I was not a good football player, but I blocked and tackled with about 6 or 7 grown men at the age of 18 who went on to play Division I football. I mean, I got clobbered every day, but there was one day where I intercepted a pass. So I was playing like second string linebacker, and I was supposed to give the offense a good look on what it would be if I ran in and blocked the ball. All I remember happening was the quarterback going back, and he took one look, and I was like, he's throwing. I went this way, and my arm just went out, and I watched it go out, and I swatted the ball down. And after the play, it was effortless. So what I found was that I needed to see the thing happening before it happened, but then allow my body to take over. Now here's the key, you do need to practice. You need to expose yourself to enough examples, right? So like with jumping, for example, if you got a 40-foot jump, you need 10, 20, 30 examples a couple times a week of little 5-footers, right? Like you need a few hundred instances of 10-footers to feel good with the 12-footers. So if you're checking these off as you go, not bad. So the real key here is you do need the exposure, you do need the practice, but then you need to allow yourself what it would be like to do the 15-footer. Allow yourself the visualization of that. And if you can't feel what it would feel like in the body to do it, then just don't. It's that simple. Go out there and do enough 12s until you're like, I don't know, I kind of feel like what it would feel like to do a 15. And you need to do this in a way where your body is breathing effortlessly before you drop in and while you do the jump, okay? So what you really need to be paying attention to is that athleticism. Now, here's the thing, if your athleticism is getting in the way, you're noticing a pattern of how you soak up the jump or you duck under the jump, a lot of times it's because you're literally, it's like a thank God safety measure where you need to get some help from someone else who knows what they're doing to show you step by step by step, okay, these are the moves you're actually doing, this is what you're trying to do, here's how they're different and why. Very few people know how to break it down and go, okay, it's your movement off the bike that you need to fix versus it's your movement on the bike that you need to fix. That is something that we do. I'm trying not to be a dirtbag and promote myself here, but there you go. So it's like, you have to figure out how to never outpace your athleticism. Now the bonus of doing this is that you'll never get hurt. If you always stay within your athletic limits, then it doesn't matter how good your skill is on the bike at catching you and saving you, you're always going to stay under your athletic limit. Therefore, you're never going to push yourself outside of where you need to be. So breathing is the key though. It's the only thing that's linked to your state and to your literal movement. Because if you're breathing improperly, it gets in the way of you moving properly and it creates a state of fear, all right? So breathing deeply, and if you need to create any tension in your body, here's a tip. Breathe in through the nose and just stop your breath coming out. It creates a brace in the core that you can move around. So that's it for today. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel right now. I got plenty more coming for you. Dave Davidson here. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you on the next one.